1 Samuel chapter 22 is a pivotal chapter in the Bible. It captures a significant moment in the life of David, who would later become one of Israel's greatest kings. This chapter marks a turning point in David's life, a transition from being a celebrated hero to a man on the run. We see David fleeing from King Saul, who is consumed by jealousy and fear of David's rising popularity and God's favor upon him. David is no longer the celebrated hero who defeated Goliath. Instead, he becomes a fugitive, constantly on the move to escape Saul's relentless pursuit. He finds a refuge in the cave of Adullam, a place of safety but also of isolation and fear. David flees to the cave of Adullam. He is desperate for safety. The cave represents a place of hiding. It symbolizes a time of testing and preparation. David is no longer the confident warrior. He is vulnerable and afraid. He cries out to God for help. In his despair, David writes Psalm 57, a testament to his faith. He acknowledges God as his refuge and strength. This psalm reveals David's trust in God's protection. News of David's location spreads. People in distress come to join him. These are individuals who are in debt, discontent, or in trouble. These men are not the elite warriors of Israel. They are ordinary people with nowhere else to turn. David, once a shepherd, now leads a band of outcasts. This unlikely gathering shows that God uses the ordinary. God chooses those who are overlooked and rejected. This foreshadows Jesus' ministry, where he often chose the marginalized. David, fleeing from King Saul's relentless pursuit, seeks refuge at Nob, the city of priests. This sacred place, known for its tranquility and devotion, becomes a temporary sanctuary for the weary fugitive. Exhausted and famished, David is in desperate need of sustenance and supplies. His journey has left him and his men in a dire state, searching for any form of relief. Ahimelech, the high priest, sees David's plight and welcomes him with open arms. Despite the potential danger, Ahimelech chooses compassion over caution. He provides David and his men with the sacred bread and the sword of Goliath, a symbol of David's past victory. This act of kindness is meant to offer both physical and spiritual nourishment. Unbeknownst to them, Doeg the Edomite, a servant of Saul, witnesses this encounter. His presence in the shadows foreshadows the impending doom. Doeg, an official in Saul's court, harbors a deep-seated grudge against David. His loyalty to Saul is tainted by his own ambitions and malice. Seizing the opportunity, Doeg reports the incident to Saul, twisting the truth to paint David as a traitor. His words are laced with deceit, aimed at inciting Saul's wrath. Saul, consumed by jealousy and paranoia, is quick to believe Doeg's lies. In a fit of rage, he orders the execution of Ahimelech and all the priests of Nob, an act of unimaginable cruelty. This horrific act reveals Saul's descent into madness. His once noble character is now overshadowed by his obsession with power and control. It highlights the danger of unchecked power and the devastating consequences it can have on the innocent. The priests, innocent and blameless, are slaughtered in cold blood. Their only crime was offering help to a man in need. Only one, Abiathar, manages to escape the massacre. He flees to David, bringing with him the tragic news of the slaughter. This event deepens the conflict between David and Saul, setting the stage for further confrontations and escalating tensions. It also foreshadows the betrayal and execution of Jesus, drawing a parallel between the innocent bloodshed at Nob and the ultimate sacrifice on the cross. David is devastated by the news. He blames himself for the massacre. He feels the weight of responsibility for the deaths of the priests and their families. David's lament expresses his grief and anguish. This event marks a significant change in David. He becomes more somber and introspective. He learns the heavy cost of leadership. This experience prepares David for the challenges of kingship. It teaches him compassion, humility, and the importance of seeking God's guidance. Throughout 1 Samuel 22, we see parallels between David and Jesus. Both are anointed leaders, chosen by God. Both face rejection, persecution, and betrayal. David's flight from Saul mirrors Jesus' flight to Egypt as a child. Both are pursued by jealous rulers who seek to kill them. The massacre of the priests foreshadows the persecution of Jesus' followers. David's compassion for the priests echoes Jesus' compassion for the marginalized. Both challenge the religious establishment of their time. Both offer hope and salvation to those who are lost. 1 Samuel 22 is a powerful reminder that God is with us in our suffering. In this chapter, we see David fleeing from King Saul, seeking refuge in the cave of Adullam. Despite his dire circumstances, David finds solace in God's presence. This narrative illustrates that even in our darkest moments, we are never truly alone. God is always there, offering comfort and guidance. This chapter encourages us to remain faithful, even when faced with adversity. The story of David's trials and triumphs points to the ultimate victory of Jesus Christ. David's journey is a foreshadowing of the Messiah, who would come to save humanity. His experiences reflect the struggles and victories that Jesus would later embody. Through his sacrifice, Jesus conquers sin and death. His resurrection is the ultimate triumph, offering a new beginning for all who believe. This victory is not just a historical event, but a living reality that continues to impact lives today. Are you ready for the next chapter? Just click here to go straight to it.